Hi folks, in this series of videos I'm going to show you how to create height maps and texture maps for tires and tire treads. So as you can see here, it's pretty straightforward. I want to point out that this isn't the only way to do tires. There's many different ways to do tires. This is just the way that I'm choosing to do them in this scenario. It may work out differently in different scenarios, but I thought I would just show you how I would go about creating a tire tread texture and height map for tires. So let's get started. All right, so to start, we're going to create a repeatable height map for our tire treads. Now, I kind of started from a sort of reference image here that I just found on the internet. And you can do this based off of any tire tread pattern that you want. This is the one that I went with, and I just found this on the internet. Now, I'm not going to use this actual image in the end result. I'm going to kind of recreate it from scratch. So I want to show you how I did that. So I'm just going to copy and paste this into a new document. So File, New. And it's important to stick to the powers of 2. So like 256, 512, 1024, 2048, 4096, and so on. So for this, I'm going to do 1024. Now, I would recommend doing this a larger size than you can possibly foresee using it, because you can't really go up without losing quality. You can always downsize it, but you can't really increase the size. So for this, I'm going to do 1024 by 1024, hit create, and then I'm just going to Control V to paste my tread pattern in there. Now I want to start by making this layer slightly transparent. So I'm just going to decrease the opacity a little bit. And I'm going to take my bottom layer here and I'm just going to fill that with black with my paint bucket like that. And then the shape that I create, I'm going to do it in between these two layers. So it's important that you keep this layer on top so you can kind of see as you're creating the shapes. And yeah, so that's the initial setup you want to have. And then I'm going to go to my pen tool, and I want to make sure that I have this set to shape up top here in the properties for my pen tool. I think by default it's set to path. So just make sure it's set to shape. And I want to make this color white. And no stroke. We don't need any stroke for this. And then I'm just going to zoom in here, and I'm just going to try to recreate this shape here. And you'll notice that sometimes it will start out on the layer above this. So I'm just going to kind of move this down to a lower layer and then kind of just pick up where I left off. If you click and drag, you will get a Bezier handle. So that will give you sort of a round curve there. And you'll notice that when you get to this point right here, this is going to be covered up. So that's why it's so important to make this layer a little transparent so you can actually see what you're doing below that layer. Right? And then we have something like that. Now for these other two shapes, you'll notice that they are sort of flipped in the different orientation. They're kind of mirrored. So what I'm going to do here is just go to my move tool, and I'm going to make sure that we can lock this layer so we don't accidentally select it. I'll go ahead and lock our bottom layer too. But now we can just hold down Alt and move. Let me make sure I turn off. It's still wanting to duplicate that layer. So let's just turn off auto select, and that way I won't accidentally select that layer above there. So with that done, auto select off, I can hold down Alt and just left click and drag off a copy here like this. Kind of get that in position. And then I can go to Edit, Transform, flip horizontal, and then I'll move that one in position. And if it doesn't match up perfectly, it's fine. It's not a big deal. And then I'm going to take another copy and just move that right there, like that. And then I'm going to recreate one of these shapes here. So again, just go to my pen tool, make sure that I'm doing this on the right layer. Get that little round corner there. And again, I'm not trying to be super precise here. I'm just trying to eyeball it, get it about right. Like that. And then just like we did for these, I can grab this shape with my move tool or select tool, hold down Alt, duplicate it. And then this one isn't mirrored, it's sort of rotated around. So I'm going to hit Control T, which is freeze transformations, and just hold down Shift and rotate that around until it snaps into place. If you hold down Shift, it will lock it to 15 degrees. And then just sort of put that in place. I don't want this to go right to the edge. I want it to kind of be off of the edge a little bit. I'm going to take both of these, kind of just move them out a little bit. And just like that, we have made a quick tread pattern. So we can hide this. We don't really need this layer anymore. And we can sort of deal with this. So the next thing I want to do here is combine all of these shapes together so they're one shape. And you can do this just by clicking and then holding down Shift and left clicking to select those, and then right click and go to Merge Shapes. And now all those shapes will be one shape. I do want to add a layer style to this shape, so I'm going to double click this to bring up my layer style. So I just double clicked on my layer sort of in that blank spot there. And I want to add a outer glow to this. Now I already have this kind of set up the way that I wanted it. I think by default you're set to, your outer glow is set to overlay, and then like your gradient's a bit, it's like completely transparent. And then this is completely white. And your opacity is a bit down. So by default, it might be multiply. Anyway, I'm not sure what it is by default, but what we want to do is change this blend mode to normal because we don't want it to be blended in. I want to increase my opacity all the way to 100%. And then for the gradient, what I want is, I don't want it to be completely white. I want it to be somewhere like 25% gray, because I want there to be a bit of a sharp fall off around the edge here. Whereas if it's completely white, it's going to be more of a round fall off. I want this to be a pretty sharp fall off. So I'm going to do around 30% gray for the white color. And then I'm going to do my black color. I want to make sure that that's also set to 100% opacity. And again, I don't want it to be completely black. I want it to be kind of a 25% black, or around a 70% gray, something like that. And hit OK. And then we can come over here and adjust the spread and size of it to whatever we want. I think something like this is fine, and hit OK for that. All right, so now what we want to do is get this repeated, so it repeats, the pattern itself gets repeated in our texture. So the way that I like to do this is I'll start with the top and bottom, and I want to pick a line that is as straight as possible or a single pixel itself that's as straight as possible. So like this pixel right here, or this line right here, is pretty straight. So what I want to do, let's actually look at this one. They're about the same. So what I want to do is take this shape, go to my move tool, take this shape, and I want to move it all the way to the top of my my image here. And let's zoom in really close here so we can make sure that we're getting this right. And what I want is I want that line to be just above the line of our image. And hopefully this will make sense to you here in a few minutes. And then I'm going to hold down Alt to get a copy of that. And I'm holding down Shift so I don't accidentally move this horizontally. So if you hold down Shift, it will stick to the position. And I'm going to move this one where that line of pixels sits just above like that. So what that will do for me is tell me that this begins exactly where this ends. So now I just need to fill in the in-between. So I'm just going to hold down Alt. So I'm just going to hold down Alt to drag off another copy, and kind of just bring that down a bit. And I want to try to get this as close to the same distance for every single one as possible. So I want to be mindful that this is about, right there. I have smart guides on so I can kind of see the amount of pixels that I'm dragging around. So 195. And then just continue to bring that down about 195. And then hopefully this will all kind of equal out. If it doesn't, we may need to adjust it a bit more. So this is where you may want to just back up and kind of redo this. And again, I want to point out that there's could be a better way of doing this, but this is sort of the way that I want to do it. One way we can kind of figure this out is, since we're doing a 1024 image, and we're essentially having, our image resolution here is 1024 by 1024, and we're essentially having 5 copies here, because this is 1, and then we're going to have 4 in between. You can kind of do the math and just divide 124 by 5, and you can kind of get that size you want. Whoop. So I'm just gonna to try doing this a couple times. So I think somewhere around 200 is probably our sweet spot. So I think that may work. There's a little bit of a gap there, but I think that's okay. Now we could try one more. Let's do one more time, and let's do like two. Let's do 204. And I think that looks pretty good. Now to check this, what we want to do is I want to just take all of these on I want to make a new layer here, and I can offset this to check to make sure that this repeats perfectly. So the way you're going to do that is you're going to use the hotkey Control Alt Shift E. And what that will do is take all of your visible layers and flatten that to a new layer. And once again, that is Control Alt Shift E. And then what we can do is offset this to make sure that this is mirroring over perfectly. So we're going to go to Filter, Other, Offset, and we want to offset vertically and make sure you have wraparound checked. And then as you increase this, it will offset your image. And what we want to make sure is that we just don't have any lines anywhere, any vertical lines. And that just tells us that this is now a perfectly repeating pattern or perfectly tileable texture that we can use. So I'm just going to hit cancel there. And the next and last thing I want to do here is I want to get a bit of a gradient on the side. So that way our these patterns on the side here will kind of shorten or fall off to the side. So what I'm going to do is just grab my gradient tool, and just a black or white to black gradient is fine. And I'm going to start right on this corner and just drag that out like that. And I want to set this the blending mode for this gradient mode or gradient to see, I believe we want it to multiply. Yeah. So we want it to multiply, and then you can kind of adjust this as you see fit. Now I don't want it to go completely black. So I do want it to be a bit gray. So maybe something a bit like that. If I want that to be a bit more gray, I can just drag this out a bit more. And then I want this on the other side too. So the easiest way to do that is just to rasterize this layer. And then we can duplicate it just by holding down Alt in our layers and dragging up. And then going to Image, Edit, Transform, and Flip Horizontal. All right, and that is it. We have a perfectly tileable height map for our tire treads.